Hello, one and all, I'm GrimpaulCheese, and welcome back to Dark Souls. So, when we last left off, well, we just freed this lovely gentleman right about here. I mean, he seems so wonderful and so charming. In fact, he's so shiny, and in fact, well, so golden. I mean, the power of bling, right? So, he promised us a nice reward later on when he actually gets himself, well, adjusted to not prison life. I mean, prison's harsh and all, so, well, we'll give him some time, and hopefully we might run into him later on. Well, hopefully the word is. So, what we need to do is just go venturing on, explore the place, and hopefully find the bell sometime soon. Well, the bell should be somewhere around here. Well, the word is hopefully, but we never know where truly it might be. So, well, this is a church-like place, and after all, this is called the Undead Parish, and I highly doubt that the place would be, in fact, down below. I actually need to adjust my mouse ever so slightly. There we go. So, right down there is where we came from. We had a nice little, well, ballet performance with all the undead and a nice man with a giant trident that we sadly did not get. Now, I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you. So, round around here is a nice ladder. Now, this ladder will take us to up here. Now, we're going actually far higher than we've actually gone before. So, there's nothing on the other side. Be a great way to hide something from someone, because you'll be like, oh, there's another ladder. Look behind you. Turns out there's like a giant treasure chest filled with, like, all the coins. I mean, every single coin that ever existed. Could you imagine? That would be amazing. But sadly, that is not a fact. Now, this fog wall is in fact where we need to go. But I'm not going to go to the fog wall just yet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the bonfire. The bonfire within the blacksmith. Now, I'm going to go there and level myself up. Actually, I might upgrade my spears a bit, maybe. It's a possibility. I need to check what the prices are Titanite nowadays. Titanite could be horribly expensive. I mean, if I'm around 400, I could probably do it. I mean, the most amount of levels I can probably get is 2. I believe I might be able to get 2 levels out of that amount of souls. So we're going to see if I'm actually able to get much out of it. So, that boss fight in there is actually what I'm a bit scared of. I mean, this shield is pretty good against that boss, but it really depends, because bosses in this game are notoriously known for being a bit tricky and being a bit mischievous. Mispronounced entirely, but yeah, you get what I'm saying. So, down here is a good old blacksmith man. I forget his name once again, and his nice, wonderful pigtail he's got right about there. You could make an afro out of that. You probably look better with an afro. Probably get all that, well, beard hair. You could probably make one of those interesting, complicated beard things. He could be, in fact, well, wanting to be a dwarf. A dwarf wannabe. Possibly. Or that's what he wanted to be before he became ancient. Yeah, we never know. So, over here, we need to see how much Titanite it happens to be. So, how much are you selling Titanite for, my good sir? You are selling it for 800. So, I can probably get 3 of those, and then probably enough souls to level my spear twice. Okay, so how much would reinforcing it be? So, let's see. What would I get from it? I would get 8 more damage. And it would cost 1 Titanite shard, it would cost 200. Now, if I upgrade my axe, now where did I put my axe? My axe is right about here. That goes up by 9. Now, that's the reason why I want to save it for later. That axe will, in fact, be a lifesaver later on. Now, we could just go all out and just level ourselves so we can use Demon Great Hammer, but that won't be for a very long time. So, it's really a giant debating bit here. I could either spend my souls to... I could probably get 1 level and then upgrade my spear a bit for the boss fight. That sounds like a great idea. So, I upgrade the spear once, and then I'd probably invest in getting 1 more Titanite shard to level up again, and I need a level. Now, I bet you're wondering, why am I doing so many preparations? Well, the class thing I was worrying about, well, picking a class for this game, or this playthrough in particular, it was hard to pick, because it was either going to be Cleric for a good old Faith build, or I could just go Strength. Now, I could just carry on going Strength, but I want a bit more Vitality. By going Vitality, I get an extra, well, how much points do I get from that? I get a good, well, 10, I would say. 11. I get a good 11. Yeah, I get a good 11 points from going into Vitality. So, if I go Strength, how much my damage is increased by 1. And my dexterity the dexterity scaling is a lot better than the strength scaling, but I'm going to go strength in this game. So what I might actually do is how much equipment load? I get 2 stamina by going endurance and 1 more equipment load. So I'm probably going to go with vitality and just stick with the health for now. Well, it is. So let's just stick with that for now. And then I can only level once apparently because I need 660. I need about 25 more souls actually. So I could go out and kill someone if I wanted to, but I don't really feel like going out and killing someone right about now. I feel like upgrading the spear, so the spear can do lots and lots of damage.
Well,
hello, yes, I'm doing alright. I want to buy all of your Titanite, please. How much Titanite do you have? All of it? Actually, I can only buy 1. That's very disconcerting, actually. So I'll just buy 1 and just upgrade it through that. I really thought I had more souls. Probably because I died a few times and didn't recover my souls for those deaths. Probably would have paid off in the end, but we can't really do anything to prevent that, sadly. But what's in the past is in the past. So we can gain 8 more damage, so we just increased this by 16 damage. Now we need 2 Titanite shards, which will cost us 1,600 just to get the shards, and then 1,800 to actually overall upgrade it once again. That's a lot of souls.
don't get yourself...
Things in this game get expensive quite quickly, so you need you need to have a surplus of souls so you know what you're doing. Now, with this nice, lovely spear and tow, with this nice, lovely 16 extra damage, we should make the difference. Well, it should. It most likely won't. Most probably won't, but hey, fingers crossed, right? We can hopefully hope for the best. So, we need to go up to the boss now, and, well, meet it. So, right about there, we just need to kill everyone along the way. I mean, the more souls, the better, right? As you can see, we instantly kill people upon backstabs. I mean, that in itself is an amazing feat. I mean, look how much damage we just did to him in 2 swift stabs. One of them was a caution stab, and one of the stabs we just went all the way out. It's amazing how much damage we're doing right about now. Now, we could be human, and I could guarantee a win, but I don't really fancy doing that. I fancy having a bit of a challenge. If things get a bit too rough and I can't do anything regarding the boss because of my depraved status, I may, in fact, just... I might just make myself human and make it a bit more easier for myself. Oh god, no, that was the thing I was worrying about. Oh, but luckily I was a lower elevation than him. If I was a bit more higher, then I would have got a nice stab in the face. With a nice half health from that. So you can really notice the damage when you upgrade your weapons. I mean, look at this damage upgrade. We're doing 7... Oh! I just noticed I was actually out of stamina, but that damage upgrade is nice. No! Bad! Bad, bad, bad! No healing! Healing is bad. It involves me that it hit you more. I mean, you wouldn't want to suffer more pain through the vigorous stabs of my spear penetrating your armor. So you can definitely hear the bells in this place. You can tell a mile away there's bells in this place. So once again, it just requires 2 stabs to kill these. Well, I don't know what you would call these. Would you call these actually people or mindless drones? Probably mindless drones while I'm at it. But by God, there's a lot of them. So these people who seem to be not in their frame of mind seems to vigorously want to stab me. I don't know what I did to upset them. I probably upset their disco, to be honest. I mean, after all, I did kill the DJ who loves to jump around and jump around and jump around as the song goes. I believe everyone goes like that. I could be completely wrong, and I keep forgetting I can't lock on while blocking. I think you can do that in the sequel. I think you can. I could be utterly wrong. But they have no regard of their friends. They just seem to be so angry, so enraged with me spoiling all the fun, all the parties, that they just want to vigorously stab me and not even care about the well-being of their friends. I mean, how heartless can you truly get in this game? I was hoping not to take any damage right about there, but sadly, I took a swift cut to the chest. Probably broke a bone or 2, but hey, I'm Mr. Fibbles, I can tolerate that. I mean, I've been through worse. I mean, I've probably been maimed horribly by some type of evil frog thing. That probably has not happened, but I like to imagine that it has happened. Now, I'll climb up here, and I'll make sure that everything's set. When I mean everything, I mean this boss up here is in fact weak to fire. You would probably think that wouldn't be true regarding how the boss is. So before we begin and look at everything, try humanity, probably later. Try tail. Ah, yes, the tail. I keep forgetting about the tail. The tail is one of the main goals in this boss fight. If you go for the tail, you actually get a special weapon. Now, we have a spear +2 with a knight shield. A knight shield is... Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Oops. Let me get a shield back. Now, this knight shield is good, because he's got high stability compared to everything else, and he's got a lot of fire resistance. He's got much more fire resistance than anything else in my inventory right about now, so we're going to stick with that for the time being. Sadly, I don't have any good armor. I don't even know where I got the soldier's helm from, probably from one of my multiple deaths. But yeah, they're not really worth doing. I mean, yeah, the defenses they give, I mean, for the weight of it, it's not worth it in the slightest. Well, right about now it probably would be, but I'd rather have a lovely fast roll, be naked just in a loincloth, let my body just flap and feel the wind that's coursing through me, than while being encumbered by some rusty, broken piece of armor. I mean, look at that, 7 weight. I mean, my weight capacity, if I get out of that and go to there, my weight capacity is 51 out of, well, 9 out of 51 right about now. And if I put that 7 armor on, I get 16. Now, if you're if you're below 10%, I think it's 20% actually. If you're below 20% of your equipment load, you actually gain the fast roll, which happens to be what I do right about now. That's the fast roll. Now, if I equip my heavy axe on top of a shield, I do not a fast roll. It's a bit of a slow roll, but not a fast roll. A fast roll is something you never really want to do when you want to run around and pretend that you're some type of ninja running around everywhere, but more of a boulder rolling around, really. But not so fast. It's more a child pushing a giant snowball around type boulder. So, let's traverse the light, and I'll show you the boss. The first true hard boss of the game, in my personal opinion. Now, the boss, as you can probably tell, is probably gigantic. It probably is like a mountain that's going to jump on the building and probably maul me to death. Well, most likely. But let's go on a little bit forth and you'll see what I mean. Welcome to the Bell Gargoyle. Now, the Bell Gargoyle is a very difficult boss. You may think, well, it's just got an axe, it's got a shield, and what's so hard about this, right? Well, that's not the true fact of the boss fight, really. The true factor is, in fact, what happens later. So, I'm going to show you... Oh, goddammit, I missed. Now, the boss itself, from what I remember, is very weak to fire. Not very weak. It's not the most weakest thing to fire. But if I can show you, without him flying around everywhere. But luckily, he's strung with his axe tail. And if we chop off his tail, we get the axe. Now you can see, look at that damage. 100 straight damage to the face. We use our black fire bombs. Oh, we could do... Oh! Look at that dodge. Did you see that? A nice stab in the arm right about there. So, as you can see, it's a very flappy man. Sadly, we can't take his rings off and put them on our own, because they're attached to him. But I think it's a him. Could be a she. You never really know, really. So where's my black fire bombs? There's my black fire bombs. Now, when it gets to a certain point, I'm going to start just spamming fire bombs over and over and over. Because as you can see, I'm doing very minuscule damage. Now, the boss fight gets massively intense later on. Okay, so just let him just keep whacking me over and over. Because I can deflect all the damage he's doing to me with my lovely, lovely metal shield. So let's do a firebomb. Ow! Okay. That's the firebomb in effect, though. Oh, I died. Okay. Ow. I probably shouldn't have thrown the firebomb so close to him. Most likely. Wasn't the best real plan I had. But I'm just going to pause the video, and I'll meet you right back at that boss fight. So, I bet you're wondering, why am I still at a bonfire? Why am I not at a boss? Well, I had a bit of a think. and regarding us doing 29 damage, I think it was 29 damage with his spear on the boss, I decided I needed to grind. I need to grind some souls, and I need to make my spear powerfuler. Now, while doing that... Oh, hello. Hello? Oh, okay. But while doing that, I, decided many things. I have decided that I'm no longer going to use a spear. I'm going to use something else entirely. Wrong thing, if I can do that. I have collected a longsword. Now, I bet you're wondering, where did I get longsword? Well, I managed to get off the undead that I managed to kill for souls. And longsword is a widely used standard straight sword, only matched with the, well, by the short sword. It does constant damage, regular high slashing damage, making it applicable in a variety of situations. It is much better than the axe or the spear at this point. So goodbye level 2 spear. I've wasted a lot of money into you. But for now, I'm going to be using a longsword, and I shall upgrade that instead. So longsword is, well, kind of long, bit of a sword, very shiny, bit metally, but it has a nice good fast slash. Now I'm going to do a slash, then a back roll, and then, yeah, it's a lot more applicable and a lot more, well, situational. Well, a lot less situational than a spear, I mean. So, I'm going to upgrade that. And I've got 2 humanity, as I wasted 2 of my black fire bombs. Now, black fire bombs are impeccably rare to get a hold of in this game. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to become human. I know I said I wouldn't, but to be honest, I don't see a way I can do this without being human or without me grinding for a long period of time for a lot of souls.
Well, hello again. You seem to need
So, what we're going to do is we are going to reinforce the longsword. Now, I managed to get 3 Titanite shards through my grind, and we're going to upgrade longsword to level 2. Now, I can do level 3. Now, by doing level 3, I get a lot more damage, and it becomes as damaging as the spear itself. Well, actually, it becomes more damaging than the spear. So, I'm going to buy 1 more Titanite shard. I'll buy 1. And reinforced longsword, and now it's an even stronger, even sharper longsword. Now it requires 2. Actually, I might make it a 4 plus. Actually, why not? I got the souls to spare. In fact, this is why I actually got the souls. I want to buy some more lovely Titanite shards. Now with these lovely things, that we'll just tell him to, hey, can you etch these into our blade for us? You know, the blade is quite shiny, but I need it to be shiny. I need all of its chalk-like substance all over it, so it becomes stronger and stronger, and sharper, and now it is a +4. Now, we'll not make it a +5, as I do not want to waste the souls net, as I want a level on top of it. Now, I just want to get a generic level, and I want to get a generic level in, I'll probably say, strength for the time being, so why not? Level up and put another point into strength, so more damage. So now we're doing 130 damage a swing. So that is quite a bit. Now, on top of that, I shall make myself human. Now, I shall reverse the hollowing. Now, by doing this, the humanity I got at the very top, I shall offer a piece of it and reverse my undead process. So now, I am human. And by being human, I can actually be invaded. Now, invaded, that means a malign spirit will come in and probably shiv me to death almost instantly. Now, I'm going to cut the video and trying to get to the boss fight very quickly before I get invaded. So, I'll be right back. So I am here. So I bet you're wondering, why am I making myself human to do this? Well, we can summon our good old jolly friend here, Soltaire. Now, we can invade it, well, invite him. In fact, that's exactly what I'm going to do. But why am I becoming human? Why am I doing this? Well, the whole plan was to use Blackfire bombs. That was the only way I could possibly do it. Well, possibly do the boss fight. So, with our good old friend Soltaire here, his nice glowing radiant figure, we shall now fight the boss. Sadly, I had to become human and do this, and hopefully, with this new upgraded longsword, we can do this boss now. So, yeah, sadly, I used a lot of my fire bombs and to do this. Oh, there we go. Now, Soltaire here has a very unique thing about it. He throws lightning bolts at it. And he can also attract the aggro. 50 damage, like double the damage we had before, which is amazing. Now, he isn't, well, he's actually not resistant, but he's not vulnerable to lightning. But either way, more help is required to do this boss fight right now, since I don't have the fire bolts to deal with this. Fire bolts? I mean the fire bombs, sadly. But last time you probably saw that there was 2 health bars when I died. That is because there is this guy. Now, this guy in particular, he loves to breathe fire. Now, can I get his tail? I could not get his tail, sadly. By cutting off his tail, I could get his nice fancy axe. But either way, I got his gargoyle helmet. Now, just one more slice, and he's dead. Huzzah! So by doing that, I got a nice helmet and a gargoyle halberd. Nice! And Solitaire, thank you very much for joining me. And for joining me, he gave me a lovely Cyanide Medal and Twin Humanities. So we have now beat the boss. Now, I do apologize that I did not do it solo, and in fact I did become human to, in fact, do the boss. It's mainly because I did not have enough fire bombs, and my spear wasn't strong enough to kill the boss in general. I could probably have done it with the sword, but it would require a lot more attempts than the single attempt I did. Actually, I did do more than one attempt, but you didn't see that. It was more off-screen. So, we are now in front of this giant tower-like structure. So the first thing we shall do is travel up it. I mean, obviously the bell's up here, and then we can see what's all about this fancy bell that everyone's wanting and everyone's, well, wanting to take. We've been hearing it ring for alternate dimensions, but we want to ring it ourselves. What's it do? Does it give us, like, unlimited gold? Does it make us human permanently? That would be wonderful. Actually, no, it wouldn't. It means we'll be invaded all the time. Now, it's up this ladder. Up this ladder is, in fact, this bell. Now, as you can probably tell, the bell itself looks like it'd be a complex piece of machinery, and it's got that little, well, gear thing on top of it. And there's only one way you can activate it. That's by pulling this very lever right here. We could here embrace the sun after we did get Sunlight Medal, and I'll tell you what the Sunlight Medal does after I pull this lovely, lovely bell. So seemingly the bell actually did nothing, but in fact there's another bell that we need to ring. Now the bell itself seems to be a magical thing, well not really that magical, it seems to be a wondrous thing that everyone seems to worship and love and adore. I mean after all those knights and all of those gargoyles were guarding it, and also we look kind of weird, don't we? I mean look at those cheeks. I actually prefer undead me personally. That's just me personally. I mean those butt cheeks are a bit more plump than normal, but hey, you know, we can't stand around admiring ourselves. So, that boss fight was actually quite easy when we have Solitaire and, in fact, an upgraded sword, as much as it was. But with the spear that we had and the setup that we were going with, it was actually kind of difficult. Also, I also forgot to note it, that along the way of going to the bell, we, in fact, had the Hollow Soldier Shield. Now, the Hollow Soldier Shield is a rusted but sturdy metal shield. Now, that shield is actually better than what we got. It's actually ever so better. It's a bit more resistant to fire and lightning. So if we got caught in that fire from the other gargoyle, we would have had a... well, that would reduce a bit more of the damage than we would with this shield. It's sort of got a bit more lightning protection. Lightning is not so common in this game. It's a bit more common in the other game, but a sequel. But not so much in this one. But either way, it's a better shield. It's a bit more heavier, I've noticed. And a little bit more durable, but hey, it's a big good payoff, I would say myself. So we're going this ladder, and we have to go find the other bell. Now, where this bell could be, well, it could be anywhere. It could be in the depths of the world, as far as I'm concerned. Hello. Wow, well, you look a bit strange. Do you want a hug? I mean, I could give you a hug. I mean, all you have to do is wrap your hands around me. Do I know a hug gesture? Let's have a looky. Do I know a hug gesture? No. I can bow to him, I guess. Let's just do a nice little bow right now, about now. Hello! This is what I can do to you. I mean, I could give you a good Glaswegian handshake, but other than that, I mean, I could hold your hand. Let's see what you want, you pale git.
Greetings. I am Oswald of Kareem, the Palm. Thou art a friend. For thee, a warm welcome. Cometh thou to confess, or to accuse? For indeed all sin is my domain.
Oh, so he is basically the priest of the area. I guess he the person who rules the area, and ever since we killed the gargoyles, he can just run around. I guess it's that, but either way, he is, as he said, he's the partner. The partner, if you anger any NPCs or anyone, basically, that's not a player, you can make him peaceful again by requesting absolution. I have not sinned. Well, not today. Maybe in the future. We'll never really know. And he will allow you to abandon your covenant without any issues. He's a wonderful gentleman like that. After all, he does give a warm welcome. Sadly, the warm welcome does not give me a nice, lovely hug and doesn't grab my butt or anything like that. I would like that personally, but he can also give us a gesture. Well, what is it? That's probably what he's doing with that arm gesture. It's probably like a constant, well, what is it? He's very weird, to be honest. I mean, he does have a shiny helmet and all, and dressed in black. He looks kind of like one of his evil villains. Probably if I turn my back, he'll probably stab me. But either way, he is in fact a priest. He is a priest of one of the gods of this game, and he's actually one of the ways you can actually get back at invaders. In case you're very salty or sour about someone invading you, you can basically do an indictment, which reports trespasses of invaders. So if someone invades your world, you can basically be like, I don't like this guy. So a slip sold by the Bishop of Velkner, Goddess of Sin. If you are killed by an invader, use this to report the crime to the trespasser. The indicated player will be added to a list of unfortunate souls who will one day face the wrath of the Blades of the Dark Moon, which is another covenant, which it basically is a covenant that's focused on invading invaders who invade people. There's a lot of invading going on, and a lot of death. We're trying to stay away from the death thing as much as possible. So he also got this nice lovely thing here, the Purging Stone. The Purging Stone can be good or can't be good. It really does depend on how you are. Right now, it's absolutely useless. It's an ash-coloured stone encased in a skull. A secret treasure of Astor, the Earl of Karim, or Karim, as he said, reduces curse build-up and breaks curse. Humans are helpless against curse and can only redirect their influences. The Purging Stone does not dispel curses, but receives them as a surrogate. The stone itself was once a person or some other being. So it is once a person or once a soul who has sacrificed themselves to break curses. Now, curses in this game are an awful thing, and hopefully I'll never get it, because it halves your health until you break it with one of these stones. It's an awful, awful thing. I would never wish it upon anyone. So you've got Homeward Bone, which instantly takes us to a bonfire. We have the Book of the Guilty, which shows you, hey, these people are evil. They have been reported. You can invade them. It basically allows you to do that. He also sells Karmic Justice. It's a spell, a miracle, which requires faith. It is an auto counter against heavy damage. So if you're hit by a massive amount of damage that would normally one-hit you, you take the damage, but it's... I think you take the damage, but I also think it repels it. Something comes out and makes a massive blast that hurts the person who inflicts it. It's an awesome spell. It's a bit niche. It's not something I would get, but it's good for PvP, I guess. You also got a talisman. Now, this is for people who use faith. Now, if you use faith, you have to cast your miracles through talismans. Now, this talisman in particular requires magic, well, intelligence, not faith. And it's got a good intelligence scaling. So, if you're a sorcerer, or wizard, however you want to put it, and you have a lot of sorceries or magic under you, but you want to know sorcerer, you want to know miracles on top of it, you can use this, and you can basically be both a sorcerer, yet a miracle user. So it's kind of useful. As a medium for casting miracles of gods, it's a black tuft of hair that serves as talisman, belongs to the Velkla, I think it's Velkla, Goddess of Sin. Yes, miracles are not drawn by faith, but intelligence, as I said. So over here is 3 Pacific rings. Now these rings are kind of useful, kind of I say. You got a blood bite ring here. One of the infamous bite rings, commissioned by Sir Artus, I don't know, by Sartos of Hakim. Despite the dreadful rumors surrounding its creation, this ring was an unmistakable asset in its ability to prevent bleeding. Now, bleeding is... you take bleeding damage, but when the bleeding builds up completely, you take a massive amount of damage and your stamina gets halved for a few seconds. And there's an awful thing to be done, but hopefully it won't get to the point where I actually need to buy this ring. Now, something underneath it is the poison ring. Now, this ring is actually a good ring. If I had the souls, I would get it myself, because it does the same thing, but a poison. You've seen poison before. This reduces, well, increases the defense of poison, which is awesome, really. And down here is the Ring of Sacrifice. This mystical ring was created in the sacrifice rite of Valkyrie, goddess of sin. Its wearer will lose nothing upon death, but the ring itself breaks. So basically, when you die, you lose no souls, no humanity, you don't become undead, you just become normal and return back to a bonfire. It's awesome like that, and it's not that much money, but they're kind of useless since I don't plan to be human very much. Only if something doesn't go to plan. The word is if it doesn't go to plan. So he has nothing really I want, but he does not much of a conversational sort, so we shall leave him be.
You're not welcome any time. It is only human to commit a sin.
Okay, creepy man, I shall leave you. He probably wanted to grope me, to be honest. I mean, would you want to grope this hunk of meat? You probably would. The majority of you would. I know I would. Most likely. Depending on the situation, the weather, all of that. But either way, what we need to do now is we need to go onwards and find where we need to go. Because we can go a multitude of places. We can go down to that giant evil thing that lurks in the depths of hell. Well, I mean that, I mean the giant horned creature that firing lightning bolts at me. Or we could go into the graveyard, or go somewhere else entirely. After all, we did get a basement key. Now, the basement key itself is very, very interesting, because it actually unlocks a specific thing. Now, we also got some things from that boss fight, actually. Instead of getting a soul, so from boss fights, you normally get a soul for beating it. A soul can be made into a unique weapon later on. Or you can get a massive amount of souls for leveling up. Now, we actually got a helmet. Now, this helmet is actually pretty good for its weight. I mean, if you compare it to the Hollow Warrior and the Hollow Soldier helms, it is dramatically better. It is the helm of the gargoyle we just fought. An enchanted creature guarded the Bell of Awakening in the belfry of the Undead Church. This bronze helm was for mere appearance sake, as the gargoyle skin is naturally hard. Little in the way of defense can be expected from it, but it's still better than anything else we got, so we shall wear it. We also got a halberd, I believe. Did we get a halberd? Yes, we did. We got a halberd. Now, this halberd is sadly not the tail halberd, which we missed and possibly will never get again. But this halberd itself is just a bronze halberd without any special powers to it. It's just a generic old halberd, really. It requires 16 strength and 12 dexterity. Actually, I could probably use that soon. I believe I can. Actually, can I use that soon? 1 second. What's my stats? I can. I just need to level twice and I can use that halberd. In fact, that sounds like a plan. But look at my helmet. Isn't it special looking? I mean, I've got giant, like, reindeer ear, tusk things, and I've got a nice big chin, bigger than I've ever got before, and I've got a nice visor that protects my eyes against the ever-glazing sun. I mean, after all, it is ever iridescent and ever blinding. After all, the gaze of the sun is nothing to, well, joke around about. Now, I need to get rid of my humanity. When I mean my humanity, I mean my human form, before I get horribly maimed and murdered by some type of invader. I can only imagine that will happen sometime soon. Now, I will spend my lovely, lovely cash I've got, my lovely amount of souls I stole from the gargoyle itself, and I shall spend it on some levels. I will spend it to get that halberd, in fact. So with a halberd, it requires 16 and 12. I've got another level I can do, which in fact I will boost my strength up even more. Why not get 19 strength? Then we could do anything with that. So there we go, we're now level 21. We started out at 11, I believe, or 6. One of them two. I can't be sure, really. But now we're at level 21 for a copious amount of souls. We just constantly eat them and burn them. Basically, with the memories that we've killed and everyone we've murdered, we burn them alive, and that's where all the ash comes from, really. We just take out the hearts and Kalimar it in front of this bonfire. You know, we can't really judge of how we have to live our lives. We've descended into undeath, we should embrace it. Not horrify it and make it sound like it's something absolutely dramatically evil. So this is a lot better than what we're currently wielding, but it's two-handed. Sadly, it damages me ever so slightly. Now, the difference between this and the other axe we could have got, the other axe is very bendy, and this is very, well, it's got a lot of range, which is something we possibly might need in the future. But it also gives us a bit of resistance to everything. So afterwards, a very beneficial boss fight, really. I'll probably want to keep my longsword in my offhand, well, in my other slot. How's my slow? I've got... as you can see earlier, I believe it was earlier. I can't be sure if it was earlier or not. I can't be sure, but I think I spoke about that I can dodge really fast and very slow and very fast. This is a slow roll. As you can see, it's not as agile, not as fast as the other roll. And if I go any heavier, that means I will roll like basically a child with a giant snowball that's pushing it around like a boulder. So I think with that, actually, I will end the video, as we've actually done a lot, actually. Well, I think I've done a lot. I don't know how long the video will be, so if it's a bit short, I do apologize. But either way, take care of yourselves,